So they're all the same except these two and these two.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Early morning errands done, a couple of meetings. Interest rates now are so bad for people who want to save money. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. So, not that I have a huge amount of money to save, but basically I'd invest in vintage saxophones if it was up to me now. They seem to offer a better rate of return than anything else. Coming up later today, hopefully another coffee with Dan. This time we're going to be talking to David Gower, not the former England cricket captain, no, this is another David Gower. David runs or co-runs the Cambridge Modern Jazz Club, and I'm having lunch with David today, and I thought it'd be a really interesting coffee with Dan to talk to someone who's actually out there promoting live jazz, sort of a little bit outside of, you know, the major city, about outside of London. We still do get a lot of London players who come up to Cambridge, so kind of someone who's doing a similar job to what I'm doing with Saffron Hall, but I thought it'd be interesting to get another perspective on it. So that will be later on in today's vlog. I'm now heading back home. I need to get my practice done. I want to talk about a little practice hack that actually comes from one of my friends who was at Juilliard, and he said that the older generation of Juilliard musicians said this is the way that Joe Allard used to teach them, and it was all to do with a reed. So the trick is, get a reed and stick it in your mouth, and the amount of pressure you use to hold the reed, let me get it in focus, to hold the reed still in your mouth is the same amount you should be using in order to play the instrument. In other words, you shouldn't be putting a lot of pressure on the reed. What? You gonna play?
Yeah.
Go on. Right, hang on the bottom. Right down there. Well, at least it fits the bill of a saxophone. At least it's out of tune. It's sharp. Always great when my little man comes in for a bit of a jam session, but both you and he are going to leave me now because I really need to get my practice done, and I can't get my practice done while either you're watching or he's watching. So whilst I do share clips of my practice with you on the vlog, believe me, the vast majority of the work takes place when the camera's off. So see you in a bit. So, second episode of Coffee with Dan today, and I'm really pleased to have David Gower, not the cricket player, but fantastic promoter of Cambridge Modern Jazz. So David, you nearly drunk, I've drunk my coffee, you've nearly drunk yours, ignore the camera. So David, how long have you been promoting jazz in Cambridge for?
Well, I came into it in about 2010 with Cambridge Modern Jazz, which has been running since 1972, and is the longest running jazz club in the east of England.
What would you say are the three things that musicians do well at Cambridge Modern? You know, so thinking of the good players you have there, what are the three things that as a promoter you're like, the qualities of those people that you would say, yeah, I'll definitely book them again?
For me, the music has got to have swing. I don't mean it's got to be swing music. It's jazz. It's got to swing, and it's got to have that rhythm that moves you, basically.
Yeah.
Secondly, I guess what really makes for a good evening is a good stage presence by the artist, and able to relate some information about the music, the background, the way it works, what it means to them. And as a promoter, the third thing is that we present an evening which is going to engage our audience and make them want to come back.
Yeah. If you could book 3 jazz musicians, living or dead, for the club, if I gave you £2 million and you could book anyone you want, and I could resurrect people, who would? And I'm not scripted you on this, so.
Well, forever and ever.
Who would be the 3?
Since
dead or
forever
alive?
and ever. Well, it would, for me, number one would have to be Monk. Because one of my big regrets is that I never saw him live.
Yeah.
And when you think the way that music broke through, and the way that he presented that, is phenomenal. It's got to be, I guess, also I would say Billie Holiday. The Queen of Pain, but the story behind the music is absolutely phenomenal. And I guess it would be a kind of combination of all the Blue Note artists that I always enjoy. So it would be Art Blakey's band with Horace Silver on the piano, and a great saxophonist, a great trumpet player. Those would be blues. That would be jazz heaven for me.
And I suppose let's we've done 3 positives. What 2 things do you wish musicians would learn before they came? And completely anonymously, don't mention any names.
In many ways, no, I'd say but I just would like them to remember who's paying the bill, because we're the customer as a club, and I think we're entitled to expect a performance at the top of their game, and one that they serve an audience right. So, we want them to give us the best shot on our stage.
So I'm talking to David's reflection there, so we'll move it that way. I haven't got David in shot.
Still with me.
Well, thank you very much, David. It's been really great having lunch with you.
It's been a pleasure.
And coffee with Dan as well. And we'll post the links to the Cambridge Modern Jazz Club below, so you can check out what's going on there. And please support, if you're not in Cambridge, please support live jazz in your area, but support David and the Cambridge Modern Jazz if you can. So Trump, I'm not going to say too much about it, but I don't feel I can make comments like I've said about other vlogs when what happened in Manchester, what happened in London Bridge and other areas, Finsbury Park. I don't feel I can make comments in those situations and not comment on what's happened in the last weekend and how deeply distressing it is. I know some people who watch this vlog are Trump supporters. It really is truly shocking, and it kind of brought me back to this, which I've said before. I want to do a podcast on this, and I may start it sooner rather than later. I kind of wanted to run it in the way the guys run the West Wing Weekly podcast, but not as long as they do it. I may start it soon. I may just watch it and do one for you myself. I'd love to do it with someone else. If you're into jazz and you podcast and you kind of want to look at it with me, then maybe get in touch and we can maybe see how we do it. Most of all, I want to know that people are going to listen to it. So kind of if 10, 15 of you comment below that, yeah, go ahead with it, Dan, we like it, we'd listen to it, we'd subscribe. I'll start thinking about it. Mainly because, rightly or wrongly in certain respects, this does deal with some of the racial issues that are around jazz. My big thing was there's a lot of 20th century social commentary about jazz, how it grew up and everything in this box set of DVDs. It's a great history of jazz. It's a kind of... I know some of you will probably already be hitting the dislike button or tell me that Ken Burns is kind of only one side, but kind of I do think that is, and the more research I've done, particularly the research I did into Dr. King and those kind of things, and reconciliation in Northern Ireland. A lot of you may not know kind of some of my backgrounds, some of the other stuff I've done. I've not just done music in my life, I've done various other different things. I've just kind of, for now, settled in onto music. But let me know if you are interested in me doing a podcast, and I will, if enough of you comment today, I will start this next week. I'll do the first episode next week, and hopefully we'll gain some momentum as we go along. And if you haven't seen this already, get hold of it. There are copies floating around on eBay for like £4 or £5 of all. This cost me like £70 and about 15 years ago. And I'm sure it must be available on some streaming service. I love a summer's evening. It's getting really nice. Going to go back home, light the barbecue now, spend a bit of family time. So I think it's probably a really good time to end the vlog about here. A bit earlier than the usual end of a vlog. Normally end them in the evening, but unless something spectacular happens, it's a good time to say I'll see you tomorrow probably. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.